Hello, this assignment is to address what is the role of a special education teacher as well as a general education teacher, to run through some of the moral code of ethics, professional dispositions, and to discuss how biases affect families, individuals, and school settings. Special education teacher roles vary. Some are teacher as the head, and that person has a classroom of students that is specifically theirs. Sometimes it's 1 or 3, sometimes it's 9, sometimes it's 12, and sometimes they co-teach. So depending on what that teacher role is defined, as when you sign your contract, defines that role. But in general, they should be improving the knowledge of the student with planning and practice, upholding professional expectations and ethics, collaborating, advancing the profession as they work with the kids, and helping in general the child who needs it the most. A good general education teacher, today they are so valuable to our society and necessary for our country. They support learning by creating an environment that children can learn. They manage the classroom. They live according to the standards. They hold their assessments with their kids in an engaging environment for higher education, for growing, as well as improving the planning and practice by implementing techniques and helping the students engage in challenging material. Knowing that their content is, as an educator, super important, as well as the knowledge of the children. So that's very similar, but just a little bit different in expertise. Just a little bit different in expertise. Teachers uphold professional expectations and ethics, living as models, individuals of integrity, and community role models. So professional dispositions that are held by teachers, both general education and special education, include but are not limited to high expectations, respect for the diversity of others, fairness, professional conduct, reflection, curiosity, honesty, compassion, advocacy, and dedication. I think that in these dispositions, to be successful teachers, you need to have a lot of them in a combination. I am an enthusiastic educator and an engaged teacher. Even as a substitute, I try to get to know my kids and know what their issues are so that I can help them more. I enjoy collaborative and individual projects. For me, music, faith, and love of reading are my passions. So I enjoy sharing and I'm super reliable. Some dispositions I need to work on are time management and organization and letting go of things. And I would put those under a mixture of fairness, professional conduct, and dedication, I think. I am super dedicated, but my family always comes first. So knowing this about myself, especially with time management, in November, I set a timer and went to, every time I was supposed to get the kids from somewhere different, my timer would go off. But before I walk into a classroom with my degree, I'm hoping to work on these. The last but not least thing is how that respect to diversity comes into play, especially in including kids. You have two different things here. One is the diversity according to their culture, and the second would be according to their ability. And I think that both are super important to address within the world of education as teachers, because to have that positive learning environment is super key for kids. That bias that affects all of us at some point. I was born in Chicago, raised in the suburbs. My brother was one of 4 white kids in his high school, and so yes, we were the specks in the dirt. But the truth is that no matter where you are, there's going to be minorities or some things that are not normal and some things that are laughed at. Teaching near a Jewish community, having had the background of Catholicism, it was a wonderful opportunity. I learned a lot. I loved meeting the parents and hearing their experiences, meeting parents that were into Taoism and Hinduism, and the big difference in their culture as far as how to relax and what to do with your downtime. That's where it comes into play, I think, especially with education, because the expectations are completely different. What's acceptable on a day off and what one does, what one child does, what children do is also different. So to sum it all up, special education teacher roles improve, plan, and practice. They are utmost important to have ethical expectations and professional attitudes. Same with general education, and especially in this area of dispositions to continually work on as we progress in our profession. Thank you.